Before Walmart, before Costco, before Kroger became a national grocery power, there was A&P. The Great Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company started in 1859, selling tea and coffee in New York. By the early 20th century, A&P had built one of the first truly national retail chains in America. At its peak, it operated thousands of stores. For a period, it was widely described as the largest retailer in the world by sales. Then the company spent the next several decades getting smaller. It lost the supermarket transition, it lost the suburban transition, it lost the discount transition, it lost the warehouse and specialty transitions. It consolidated into the Northeast, bought and sold banners, went private, filed bankruptcy in 2010, came out in 2012, then filed again in 2015. The second bankruptcy was the end. A&P sold stores, closed stores, and disappeared as an operating grocery chain. The company that helped invent modern chain retail could not survive the market modern chain retail created. This is not a story about one bad CEO. It is a story about a market moving for 50 years and a company always being one format behind. Quick recap. Every company is shaped by four forces: market, the conditions they operate in; money, how they're funded, and what that costs them; management, the decisions made at the top; moment, the timing and events they didn't choose. All four are always present. Only one is decisive. A&P is a market case. Management made mistakes. Money mattered near the end. But the long arc is market evolution. The grocery business changed shape around A&P until the company's old advantages stopped being advantages. A&P's original advantage was scale before scale was common. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, most food retail was local, fragmented, and expensive. A&P built purchasing power, private label goods, standardized stores, and a supply chain that let it underprice smaller merchants. That model worked brilliantly in a world of small urban stores. Then grocery retail changed. The first major shift was the self-service supermarket. Larger stores, more categories, parking lots in suburban locations changed what customers expected. A&P had stores everywhere, but many were too small and too old for the new format. Scale became a liability if the scale was tied up in the wrong store base. The second shift was regional supermarket strength. Kroger, Safeway, Publix, H-E-B, Wegmans, and other operators built strong local and regional positions. Grocery is a national industry in aggregate, but it is local in execution. Distribution density, real estate, labor contracts, and customer habits are market by market. The third shift was discounting. Walmart changed food retail by using general merchandise scale and logistics discipline to pressure grocery margins. Warehouse clubs changed bulk purchasing. Aldi and other limited assortment discounters changed price expectations. The fourth shift was specialization. Whole Foods and Trader Joe's did not try to be everything to everyone. They made grocery feel curated. A&P, by contrast, often felt like an older conventional supermarket without a sharp reason to choose it. By the 2000s, A&P was trapped. It was not the cheapest. It was not the freshest. It was not the most convenient. It was not the best regional operator. It owned banners customers recognized, but recognition is not the same as preference. That is, market as a decisive force. The battlefield changed from who can run the most stores to who has the right format, density, and proposition in each local market. A&P had the wrong inheritance for that battlefield. The cruel part is that grocery is a habit business. Customers do not run a strategic review every week. They go where the store is clean, the prices make sense, the parking works, the produce looks right, and the trip feels easy. A&P kept enough history to be recognized, but not enough operational advantage to be chosen. In grocery, that gap is fatal because customers can leave one basket at a time. Market, decisive. Money mattered most near the end. A&P went through ownership changes, asset sales, and restructurings. In 2010, the company filed for Chapter 11 after years of weak performance, debt pressure, and difficult competition. It emerged in 2012 as a privately held company, but emerging from bankruptcy is not the same as fixing the business. By 2015, A&P filed again. The company had roughly 300 stores under banners, including A&P, Pathmark, Waldbaum's, Superfresh, Food Emporium, and others. It sought buyers for pieces of the store base. The filing listed assets and liabilities of more than $1 billion. Debt made the end harsher. Labor costs, leases, pension obligations, and supplier confidence all mattered. Grocery is a low-margin business. If sales fall, there's not much cushion. But money is not the deepest cause, because a healthier market position would have made the balance sheet repairable. Strong grocers can carry debt. Weak grocers cannot. A&P's financial structure became fatal because the stores did not generate enough reason for customers, vendors, or lenders to believe in the turnaround. Money, the end-stage constraint. Management had decades to adapt, and often adapted too slowly. A&P was late to commit to large modern supermarkets. It held too long to older formats. It centralized in ways that lost local sensitivity. Later, it tried acquisitions and banner strategies that added complexity without creating a clearly better customer proposition. The Pathmark acquisition in 2007 is a good example. It expanded A&P's footprint in the Northeast, but it also added more stores in a region where competition was already intense and costs were high. Instead of creating a transformed grocer, it created a larger, challenged grocer. Management also struggled with identity. Was A&P a value grocer, a neighborhood grocer, a premium fresh food grocer, a multi-banner local operator? The answer changed, and customers could feel that. So management matters. A better management team earlier in the supermarket transition might have sold weak stores faster, rebuilt formats sooner, or concentrated around stronger regional positions. But the reason this remains a market case is the length and breadth of the shift. A&P was hit by multiple format changes over decades. No single management decision explains the whole decline. The company was an early winner in one version of grocery retail and a late mover in nearly every version that followed. Management, slow and inconsistent, but not the deepest force. There were moments that hurt A&P: inflation cycles, recessions, labor disputes, the 2008 financial crisis, the slow recovery that followed, the timing of the Pathmark deal before the crisis, the timing of the second bankruptcy in a grocery market already consolidating around stronger players. But none of these moments created the pattern. They accelerated it. The more useful moment is not one date. It is a long period when the supermarket format changed from small urban chains to large suburban operators. A&P had been built for the old geography. Every decade after that required more reinvention than the company could execute. So moment is present, but diffuse. Moment, accelerants across a long decline. So let's grade them out. Market, decisive. Money, the end-stage constraint. Management, slow, inconsistent, and often late. Moment, repeated accelerants, not the cause. A&P's fall is what a market case looks like over a century. The company did not fail because Americans stopped buying groceries. It failed because the way Americans bought groceries kept changing. That is the difference between demand and market structure. Demand can stay enormous while the old winners lose. People still bought food every week. They just bought it from supermarkets with better parking, regional chains with better local execution, Walmart with lower prices, Costco with bulk economics, Whole Foods with premium identity, Trader Joe's with curation, and Aldi with brutal simplicity. A&P had once been the future, then it became the past with leases. The framework lesson is that market is not only about whether a category grows or shrinks. Sometimes the category grows while the old business model inside the category dies. That is harder to see because the demand signal looks healthy. Grocery never vanished. Food retail never went away. The market did not collapse like Polaroid's instant film market. It evolved, and for an incumbent, slow evolution can be more dangerous than sudden collapse. Sudden collapse creates urgency. Slow evolution creates excuses. Every year, the old store base can look just barely fixable. Close a few weak locations, remodel a few others, buy another banner, sell a warehouse, renegotiate with labor, bring in a new CEO. None of those moves is irrational. The problem is that none changes the basic market position. A company can spend decades doing reasonable things and still keep losing the customer. A&P had time. That was the problem. Next case is Compaq. It became the #1 PC company in the world, then sold itself before the PC market finished changing. Subscribe.